benefit you greatly. Please ask all questions using the Q&A section. This can be found on your Teams taskbar. There will be, these will be addressed at the end. This is the Industry Focused Advanced Diploma, DEI and DEM explained by Paul Salenza, the college manager, and Dr. Hossein Tafiti, on-campus lecturer. Commonly asked questions. The copy of the slides/video recording will be sent, I believe, in a PDF, and this will be in the next business days. Please monitor your junk inbox. You'll also see this appear on the YouTube channel, which will be incredible. And I will bring Mr. Paul Salenza to the screen, and I will take myself off of the screen.
All right. Thank you. Well, wrong one. Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you very much. That was a lovely introduction. Hello, everyone, and thank you for taking the time today to speak to us. My name is Paul Salenza, and I'm, as Jasmine mentioned a moment ago, I'm the college manager at the Engineering Institute of Technology. I have been we call it EIT for short, Engineering Institute of Technology, EIT, for about 15 years now, a little over 15 years. And so I've been fortunate enough to share the journey with many students over quite a period of time, and I really do enjoy education and training and watching students progress with their learning and understanding. And I've seen the difference that these qualifications and these courses that we offer can make in the lives of students. So it's something we take great pride in, and it's important. So thank you all for, hopefully today we'll answer a lot of your questions. We'll go through a few bits and pieces specifically for the two advanced diploma programs that Jasmine mentioned a moment ago. And we'll take some questions as well as we sort of progress through the session. Today's agenda, there's a few bits and pieces that we're going to go through. Let me see if I can make that, unfortunately, a little bit older, so it's a little bit tiny, but that's okay. We'll work through it, hey. No, I can't, hey.
What's the issue?
It's just tiny on my screen. How do I make it bigger, Jazz? Do you know? It's okay. That's okay. We'll work through it, hey. All right. 2 seconds. All right. Today we're going through the agenda today. We'll go through different types of advanced diploma programs, specifically focusing on the two different advanced diploma programs, but with a little bit of an understanding of the broader scope of the sort of qualifications that we offer here at EIT. We'll work through our learning management system, which we call Moodle, the student support, the different support that the students at EIT receive, the resources that we provide students on their learning journey, and we'll go through the webinars, because we have live webinars, entry requirements that we, in order to gain entry to the programs, go through some accreditation of the courses, some remote labs, and then we'll talk specifically about the two advanced diploma programs that we're going to sort of focus on today. First is, what is an advanced diploma? So an advanced diploma is a formal qualification that we deliver to students, and students will go through the accreditation section a little bit later in the webinar. But the focus is on practical real-world skills and knowledge for students. When you complete an advanced diploma, you should be able to better perform in the workplace. That's the goal. And the skills and knowledge that you gain, you'll then be able to progress with your career and work through the different aspects of the advanced diplomas, so that you'll get all the information that you sort of need to progress yourself in your careers. So EIT's vocational programs are designed with extensive industry input and accredited by the Australian government. Some programs are also accredited under what we call the Dublin Accord. There's 3 different accords, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Featuring live interactive webinars delivered by seasoned industry experts. One of the things we do really pride ourselves on is that we are able to source true industry professionals, experts in the field, and to deliver the webinars for you, so you get current industry knowledge and understanding in the specific areas that you're studying. And they're designed to help trade qualified professionals take the next steps in their career or to formalize industry experience. The advanced diploma program, once you graduate, doesn't have to be the end of your study. You can then, it opens you up to a range of other sort of more higher level qualifications, you could say, study pathways through the bachelor's degrees, or alternatively, as we all know, professional development is absolutely critical. So we also do offer a range of professional development courses for the that you can then move on to as well. Okay, so the different types of advanced diplomas. Essentially, we focus specifically on engineering programs. We do have other types of programs, but our qualification, our primary focus is engineering, and we do cover most engineering disciplines. One of the most popular courses that we have is the Advanced Diploma of Industrial Automation Engineering. We also have electrical engineering through the Advanced Diploma of Applied Electrical Engineering, electrical systems. We have advanced mechanical and advanced diploma of mechanical engineering technology, civil, advanced diploma of civil and structural engineering. And then we have the advanced diploma of electrical instrumentation, E&I engineering for oil and gas facilities, which Hussein will talk a little bit in detail a little bit later on that program. We also have the advanced diploma of biomedical engineering, advanced diploma of plant engineering, and also the advanced diploma of electrical and instrumentation, E&I engineering in mining, which Hussein will also talk about a little bit today. These programs, this is not the full spectrum of the programs that we offer. We offer quite a few other different advanced diploma qualifications. So hopefully there'll be an advanced diploma that meets your specific needs as you sort of progress through your career and to meet your different sort of learning needs. Essentially, the advanced diplomas, the programs, they are between either 18 months or 2 years long, depending on the advanced diploma that you choose to study. So it's quite a commitment. It's not done over a weekend. It takes quite a bit of time. So 18 months to 2 years, depending on the qualification to study. So what does it look like, right? What is an advanced diploma? Like, what will you be studying? What kind of things will you be studying? So this is a typical sort of structure. It's one example of a structure. All of them are not the same. You'll see that there is a subject area that you'll be studying, and have different sort of periods of weeks. So we don't follow the traditional semester system. We have the first module, then we go to the next module and the next module until all of the modules are completed. And once you've passed all of those, all of the modules or units, depending on what it is, then you'll have graduated with the qualification. Each module has the live webinars, and so you'll have live webinars in real time. We're using we use a different system in the courses. We have some software called Big Blue Button, which is pretty rock solid software. So an industry professional, industry expert will take you through the specific subject that you're studying at each period through each different subject area. And we'll talk about the instructors and some detail on that like a little bit later. All of the just on the previous slide, all of the structures are on the website too. So if you want to know sort of if you have a specific course in mind that you're looking at studying, you think that might be a good idea, the website is pretty detailed. When you click into the course, you'll see the program structure section, and it'll show you exactly the duration of each module or unit, and and what's covered, right? And we cover exactly what is covered on the website too. We go through that as well. All right. So the first is, so how, I guess the question now becomes how do you learn, right? So what we do is we have a learning management system. We call it Moodle. It's highly customized. We put a lot of resources into this. Essentially, that's our major communication tool. Everything you need for the course is on what we call Moodle. So, for example, your slides for the webinars, your all the reading materials, you'll have access to the what we call the e-library as well. So you can delve into deeply, very as deeply as you wish, really. The resources that we provide are huge, essentially. Um, and you'll submit your assessments will be on there. You'll submit assessments through Moodle. And it's available to students 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So there's no time zone issues really. So you'll be able to track your attendance. We have an attendance requirement of 70% for the advanced diplomas in order to graduate. And you'll be able to track your attendance as you progress. You'll be able to track your progress, um, whether you've passed an assessment, whether you have to resubmit an assessment, the quizzes, and a whole gamut. All of the software that you need is also through Moodle. So access to Iris, our invigilation software, our e-library, the remote labs, which have real practical activities for students as they progress through the different sort of modules or subjects within the course. It's pretty rock solid, Moodle, and we put a lot of time and effort into making sure that it's good for students. It's user friendly, it's easy, it doesn't take very long to sort of understand how to use. Um, and you'll be able to log in there anytime really that you wish. And everything should be there for you and will be there for you in the course that you're studying. We upload the materials progressively. The reason is we don't wish for students to jump ahead with their studies. The best way, we know that the best way to learn is to progressively work through each module. So we won't put the whole course up there for you. We'll put up the current module that you're studying. You'll learn through that, you'll progress, and then when the next module is due to start, those materials and those resources will be there for you before you start the next module. So the materials are progressively updated. It also gives us because it's 2 year, as I mentioned, they're 18-month and 2 year qualifications. It gives us the ability to update and constantly make sure that the materials are up to date and best practice really, making sure that the information that you receive is state of the art um, and at a very, 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 very high level. Now we understand that all the students are, they're busy working professionals, right? And you need support, and you need to have someone to contact right throughout your studies. We've all been there where we've had a problem. We've called up an organisation. You've explained the situation. They've transferred you to someone else. You've explained it again, and then you've transferred you to someone else ad nauseum until you're very, very, very frustrated. We don't do that. Essentially, at EIT, you have one person that you can communicate with throughout the course. One person that knows where you're up to in your course, in your course. One person that knows, well, they'll get to know you very, 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 very well over. You can understand that it's 18 months of study, 2 years study in some cases. There's someone that can set that you can contact, and that person will help me, right? And they know who I am. You're not just a number at EIT. Um, though that person is very, 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 very highly trained, highly skilled, and will be able to assist you. They're not engineers. Now, these administrators that will be assisting you throughout the course, they're called LSOs, Learning Support Officers, right? We've got a whole team of learning support officers in different locations in the world, really. And those people will assist you right throughout the course, whether that be I don't understand how to find something, I don't know what to do, anything at all really. They'll either be able to help you themselves, or will be able to um, so they'll know who to contact. So, for example, if it's a payment, you want to make a payment, the LSOs won't be doing the payments themselves, but they know who to contact in the accounts department, for example. They can then assist you with taking the payment. Uh, they're not engineers, right? So they won't be able to help you with the technical side, and that's what we have the instructors for. We have a strong team of instructors that will be able to assist you with the technical aspects, right? The LSOs are also there. For example, if you're falling behind, they'll be able to contact you and say, look, you're falling behind. What's going on? How can we help and support you? Essentially, they're there to guide you along the way and make sure that, if there's something, we want our students to graduate. We want all of our students to graduate. And sometimes, especially with sort of online learning, right? You're not alone, essentially. There's someone there that you can contact at any point throughout the course that can assist you with the course. They're a wonderful, and they're really there to help, and they're a wonderful group of people designed there to assist you right throughout the course. And there's one person that you'll contact, the one person to contact throughout your course. They're that person that you'll develop a relationship with, and they'll get to know you. We get to know our students pretty well throughout the 18 months or 2 years, and it's fantastic to see the students. When the students first start, a little bit nervous. It's something new. It's a big thing, and then as they progress and gain confidence throughout the course, it's wonderful to see they're learning, they're understanding, and then at the end of the course, when they graduate, it's a massive achievement, and we know this, and it's wonderful. We really do pride ourselves on providing wonderful, wonderful, wonderful um, resources for students on Moodle. As I mentioned before, that learning that software that we used for the students. We Each course will have specific readings designed for um, your module or unit that you're currently studying. There'll be a readings guide, and then what you'll do is you'll go into the e-library, read the required readings um, for that for that subject. The slides of all the webinars that'll be delivered, they're on Moodle for you as well, so you can follow along um, while the webinar is going. We understand that engineering is tricky, right? It's difficult, it's challenging, it's conceptually difficult, right? So these resources will really help you to reinforce, really, so that you can have a strong understanding of the subject matter that's being presented. One of the things that really sort of sets EIT apart, which is a bit different, is there are the remote labs. Now, what we do is we have remote labs in various locations, right? So it doesn't really matter where you're located, right? As we know, with software, latency is the enemy, but we have labs in multiple different countries, and they really do reflect industry, right? So you throughout the course, you'll be required to go into the remote labs and perform practical activities. There's a few challenges, as we know. Many of you in the room may know, with engineering software. It's usually not compatible with Mac computers. It's also, the file sizes can be prohibitive, right? It really depends on the kind of um, computer that you're using, right? Whether the software is suitable for that computer. So the way we negotiate and negate all of these problems, right, is through our remote labs. Essentially, you're not downloading the software onto your computer. Your computer is logging into our system remotely, and you'll be using the software that way. So it means that all those problems that I mentioned a moment ago, they don't apply, right? All you need is a reasonably modern computer. Good internet is necessary. Log into our system, and you can perform the task, right? Which is wonderful. All of our advanced diploma students also have full access to all of our remote labs. So, for example, maybe perhaps at work let me give you an example. You're not very good at CAD, for example. You want to practice CAD. Well, you can log in as an advanced diploma student. You can log into the remote labs and practice in a safe environment, drawing different things, familiarizing yourself with CAD. So, they're really good resource. And at the end of the course, the feedback is always wonderfully positive about the remote labs. Formal, of course, you're studying formal qualifications, so the assessments, you'll need to be assessed each module. You'll be assessed in each module, and then largely through such the quizzes, assignments where you'll work through different sort of problems, both in a from a knowledge capacity as well as a practical. There'll be practical assessments as well, often using our remote labs, but not entirely. It depends on the nature of the subject matter that you're studying. There'll be group projects and all the sort of things that you would kind of expect in the in a qualification at the level of an advanced diploma. We also provide a range of other different sort of videos and learning tools on Moodle to help you to understand the subject matter. And people learn in different ways. Some people like to read, some people like to watch a video. It's different ways that people learn best, and we try and cater for all those different sort of learning styles at EIT with the materials and the resources that we put onto Moodle. Advanced diploma students will also have access to the e-library, and you should be able to see there's open access, Novell, our sister company, IDC Technologies, IEEE Explore. So there's a range of different sort of subscriptions that we also have on our in our e-library that advanced diploma students will have access to throughout the programs. They're very good. The materials are really good. We have a publishing team that really do put a lot of time and effort into making these materials best practice, right? So that you're learning the information and the things that you need to learn throughout the course. We have live webinars. Now there is a requirement, a 70% attendance requirement, so you must attend the webinars in the course. Now we use some software called Big Blue Button. It's pretty rock solid software. It doesn't take a lot of, you don't have to download anything. You can click on the button and log straight into the webinar room. And so the instructor will be delivering the subject matter, the subject or the area, the topic that they're teaching you at that point in real time, right? So no recordings. We do have pre-recordings as well, but the actual live webinars will be in real time where the students and the instructor will be in what we call a webinar room using Big Blue Button, all in real time. Now the webinar is approximately an hour. Some may go slightly less, some may go slightly longer, largely depending on the amount of content really and the questions that the students are asking in the webinars. So, but we find that the webinars are really, really, really important, right? You can ask questions in the webinars, and students will also have access to the instructors outside of webinars to if asking questions and things that they're not sure about. It's good software. It doesn't sort of crash. It's very, very reliable and easy to use. Anyone who's using social media platforms at the moment will be able to use Big Blue Button. It's very similar in a lot of kind of ways. We have the formal qualifications. So there's a set of rules in terms of like who we can let on to a course. These entry requirements are a part of the accredited packages that we deliver, and we must meet these entry requirements, right? From a just to make sure that we're meeting the package requirements of the program. So in terms of they do differ, and each course that if you're looking at a course on the website, please look at the entry requirements because each course has specific entry requirements. On the screen at the moment, we have some generic, and it is largely applicable. Essentially, what we're looking for is applicants must have at least year 12 or certificate 3 trade qualification or equivalent, right? In a related area to the course that they're studying. And they must have all students must have at least 2 years work experience. Now we have found that if you meet the entry requirements, the chance of success is significantly higher, right? You've got a very, very, very good chance of successfully completing the course. If you don't have these entry requirements, then often that students will struggle. it's quite a significant level of qualification, the advanced diploma program. So now you can, if you do not have any year 12 or any qualifications at all, you can then go to, if you, but you have 4 years work experience, there is a way to gain access through that way. But you would need to complete what's called a credit to entry form. It's essentially a form where you demonstrate through your work experience that you have the knowledge to gain entry to the program. In addition to the qualifications, and the work experience. We do require students to have a really strong grasp of the English language. It's really important. The course is delivered entirely in English, and it's a strong understanding of the English language is really necessary for successful completion of the program. And there's different ways that you can demonstrate that you have the English ability for the course. And so that's a bit of an overview, a bit of a generic sort of understanding. And the majority of the courses sort of do follow this structure in terms of entry requirements. But if you're, for example, you're an electrician working in industry, or have worked in industry for a number of years, then you'd be a great fit for the course, and a good, really strong chance of successfully completing the course. We do pride ourselves on having really, really strong graduation rates throughout the course. It's important that we do. But not everyone, like, you need the time, you need to be able to allocate the time to the course as well, right? And we understand things come up, people get busy, work, family, things come up. Our students are all working professionals. So, but it's important that you do have the time to allocate to the course that you're applying for. Accreditation and recognition. So I guess the question then becomes, do you get a proper qualification when you complete the course? The answer is yes, you do. So our qualifications are all. We have permission by the Australian government to award formal qualifications. The Australian government gives us the ability to deliver and award formal qualifications recognised throughout Australia. Our qualifications are also recognised by SAQA, which is the for those I note in the chat box, there are some South African students in the room. They recognise our qualifications as well as a foreign qualification. But we have lots of our students that ask SAQA to recognise the qualifications, and it's a reasonably easy and straightforward process. So yes, the answer to the question, is it a formal qualification? Yes, it is, and we can demonstrate that through there's a website called training.gov.au, which is managed by the Australian government, which demonstrates that as well. All right. I mentioned this before a little bit briefly, right? So we have remote labs, and there's a huge amount of labs that we have on our system, with labs based in different parts of the world. So we have labs based in Australia, in Singapore, the United Kingdom, and South Africa. So and then the labs they're basically software that you use. As we know, when you work, if you're working in industry, you would know that a lot of the work that you do now is on software, which leads really, really well to the remote labs, the practical activities, and the practical activities will be required throughout the program that you're studying. Depending on the nature of the subject that you're studying, you'll have different sort of practical requirements in there, and they're wonderful to use. You log in, you book a time, and then that time's locked off just for you, right? So, and you can log in really 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I see Scoby. Nikita. I hopefully pronounced your name well. So the question in the chat box is, what time of day will the webinars run? When the students apply for the course, the question is asked in the application. What are your preferred times and days and all that sort of stuff, right? And what happens is the LSO, the learning support officer that I mentioned before, they'll put all those sort of times together and look at scheduling them on the best to suit the majority of the students. We're not able to cater for each individual student, but what the LSO does, it puts it all together and works out times for the webinars and days to best suit the students. Generally speaking, students will want to go home and have some dinner and then have a webinar. So evenings are usually a popular time. Others would like to have a webinar in the morning before work. It's also quite a popular time. And we also do have students in different time zones. So there'll be at least 2 sessions for the students to choose from. They're duplicates of each other just to cater for the different time zones so that the students can attend webinars at a time, hopefully, that is convenient for them. Fees and payments, right? So the fees, you should be able to see the fees for the advanced diplomas on the website. All the fees are there available for you to see. In the country that you are located, if you're an Australian student, you may be aware of the Vet Student Loans Program, which is a government loan system that Australian students can use. And so, but we're very transparent, very clear on how much the fees are, and students can also pay those in different ways. So they can pay on a monthly basis, where each month the same amount sort of comes out until the payments are all finished for the program. Those that are using the VSL, vet student loans, well, that's a loan. It's a loan that it goes through the government, right? And so essentially, you'll accrue debt as you progress and complete different parts of the course. But yeah, the fees are all on the website for the students. So you can pay in monthly installments, or you can pay upfront. We use payment portals to help you with the payments. Is very simple, very easy. It's easy to set up, and so it works pretty well.
Wonderful. Thank you. I'm just going to bring Hosen on the screen now. Take control. Then I will take you off, Paul. Thank you for your time. Wonderful. There we go.
Okay, sure. I'm just trying to take. Yeah, hopefully everyone can see that. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the session, and thanks, Jasmine and Paul, for the first part of the presentation. I'm Hossein, currently a senior lecturer with EIT. I have been with EIT in the last 4.5 years, and my main expertise is power electronics, renewable systems, and I currently contribute here as a program leader for electrical engineering at EIT. I will be discussing a bit of more details of 2 of our advanced diplomas. The first one would be Advanced Diploma of Electrical and Instrumentation Engineering for Oil and Gas Facilities. I will go through a bit of more details and structure of this advanced diploma. And then later on, I will discuss the other advanced diploma, which is Advanced Diploma of Electrical Engineering for Mining section. So that's kind of the main 2 topics that I will be covering in the next 15-20 minutes. Paul has clearly mentioned and described the overall structure of our advanced diploma, so I won't go too much. I won't repeat those parts. Just to let you know that the duration of the advanced diploma for oil and gas is 18 months. And then the main focus is, okay, we are going to teach the basics of electrical engineering and partly instrumentation, but the main focus here is the oil and gas applications. And that's where throughout our advanced diploma structure, you could see modules such as, especially at the very end, close to end, we have modules such as oil and gas specific applications for FPSO application. We have wellhead and flow line control systems. We have industrial data communication. We have SCADA systems, etc. So all these modules are specifically designed and are developed specifically for oil and gas applications. Of course, at the beginning of the course structure, to make students familiar with the background of electrical engineering, we have some modules such as fundamentals of electrical engineering. We have modules such as transformers and switchgear, etc. So all these modules are preparing you with the basics and fundamentals of electrical and instrumentation engineering. And then closer to the end of the advanced diploma, all the modules are more towards application of these electrical engineering and instrumentation concepts in oil and gas applications. For example, another one of the modules that is interesting to look at is safety instrumentation, in which we are focusing on two IEC standards, IEC 61511 and IEC 61508, which are mainly used in oil and gas industries. You can see the number of weeks that each of those modules are taking. Again, as Paul mentioned, they vary based on the content and based on the structure that we have for each of the modules. And you can look at the details of each of those modules in our website, as Paul clearly mentioned. So that's a bit of the structure. If we look at the learning outcomes that is defining the structure and defining the concept that we are teaching, we start with the evaluation of issues of electrical instrumentation in the oil and gas industry. We discuss and differentiate the implementation of relevant earthing and safety regulations. Again, another important aspect, electrical engineering aspect, that needs to be implemented on every facility, especially oil and gas facilities. Then we also discuss about process control systems. Again, all these oil and gas industries are flowing through and are based on the processes that are happening. And each of these processes require a specific control algorithm to achieve the final outcome that is required. So we discuss and analyze the process control systems as part of this advanced diploma. We also work on with the SCADA systems, and we have one or two modules on SCADA systems and on monitoring the flow lines and shutdowns and instruments. We also do the discuss and formulate the engineering solutions for typical scenarios related to this specific industry as well. As part of the advanced diploma, we also have managed the complex projects. We learn to manage the complex projects and manage self-autonomy to achieve objectives within the specific industry. This is kind of the main learning outcomes that we have for this advanced diploma. On the job outcomes, potential job outcomes that we have for here, the main outcomes, those who are graduated are going to be mainly technicians or are already working as technicians and they are improving their skills through this. We have technicians like instrumentation, electrical technicians, service technicians, automation, engineering associate, etc. And also, again, more specific towards oil and gas, we have production technicians and oil and gas technicians that could our graduate from this advanced diploma work on. The distinctiveness that we have, and as Paul mentioned, and we are very proud of, and I'm personally, I'm very much proud of, is that we have instructors who are really working in the industry. Our instructors are not just academics, and that's a big differentiator that we have here at TIT. And from there, we have you are dealing with instructors and lecturers who are their main job, their main day-to-day work is the same industry, and then that affects the material delivery, that affects the material development, etc. And this makes our program very specific and application based, and that's where you as students, potential students, will enjoy, because we are teaching you, we are making you job ready, and that's one of our main differentiators, and I personally am very much proud of. And in this case, this specific program talks about strong hazardous area and safety. Also, it focuses on these specific parts. It, of course, discusses different approaches on electrical and instrumentation integrated. We have modules that are integrating these two bits, which are electrical engineering and instrumentation engineering. And as I mentioned, it's practical and application oriented, specific to oil and gas industry. Flexible for working professionals based on the timing that you are convenient to study. And it provides you with pathways towards our higher education, such as our bachelor degrees or later on master degrees, etc. Now, I'm gonna just talk a little about two of our specific modules, just to give you a bit of overview of what happens on like just two modules here. I have picked two modules. One of them is create PLC programming using the IEC 61131. Again, this is a standard that is specific, and it determines and provides guidelines and recommendation to methodologies that we program PLCs. Again, as everyone is familiar, hopefully, PLCs are equipments to control processes, to control valves, to control different instruments and different actions that we need in these industries. And we, within this specific module, we are going to have, or you are going to have hands-on experience in programming PLC. And we have different types of PLC. You can access them through our remote labs. And yeah, as I mentioned, you are going to program based on the international standards. You have hands-on developments of PLC programs, and you are going to design and implementation different control systems and a real-time application to oil and gas. That's where our practical assessments that are part of our learning and assessments are designed for. Uh, the other module that I wanted to highlight here is oil and gas specific applications for FPSO facilities. Again, on this one, we are talking about floating production, storage, and flow and offloading facilities that again are very much specific to oil and gas. And it through this specific module, students builds on the key E&I engineering knowledge with a real-world platform application. We also cover smart maintenance techniques, and this is another part of the learning outcomes that you will gain through this module. And we also again discuss about the safety parts, such as flare flame front generators, alarm responses, etc. So these are different equipments and components that we have in the oil and gas industry, and you get familiar with them. Each of our modules, or most of our modules, are coming with a specific software tool. And within the program, during each specific module, you are required to have hands-on experience with specific software tools. Again, as Paul mentioned, we have them available through our remote labs, and you can easily book the timing and work on them. The software tools that we have specifically for this advanced diploma is AutoCAD for some of the design applications and drawings. We have ETAP for electrical protection, power flow analysis, etc. We have MATLAB, which is a bit of more generic software tool. We have Picoscope. Again, we have some setups that are working like digital twins, and you can use Picoscope to measure different parameters on them. And we have, for example, a Smart Draw and some other software tools. Again, this is something you, through this advanced diploma and through not only this advanced diploma, through the different modules that we offer here at IIT, you are learning these specific software tools and make you job ready for your specific field that you are interested. The second advanced diploma that I would like to highlight is Advanced Diploma of Electrical and Instrumentation. Here, the focus is mining industries. The requirements and overview are kind of similar to the other advanced diploma. I would try to skip some of the repeats. The duration is similar, is 18 months. The structure that we have is kind of similar to the structure that we have for oil and gas, but with the differentiation that here at the close to the end of the program, we discuss on modules, or we have modules that are mainly for mining. For example, we have personal safety system, which is one of the important modules and important things, important aspects in the mining industry. We have distributed control systems close to the end. Again, we have process control system similar to the advanced diploma of for oil and gas. And another part that we have a bit more focus in this case is a bit of communication. You can see we have wireless LANs communications, we have field bus communications, we have a SCADA system, and also a bit earlier on the course we have data communication, Ethernet, TCP, IP, etc. So here the focus and what differentiates this program to the other advanced diploma is the higher focus on the instrumentation, and that's where is more important in the mining industries. On the learning outcomes that I quickly go through, we get to know, of course, the fundamentals of electrical engineering, similar to the other one. But I later part of this, if we can see the learning outcomes to identify solutions and problems for SCADA systems, radio, telemetry systems, wireless, satellite networks, etc. So these are part of the learning outcomes that we have for this specific advanced diploma. There are some other ones that you can go through the details if you are interested in our website. Potential job outcomes, we have instrumentation specialists, for example, automation engineering specialists, control system technologists. So here, as I mentioned, the focus is more on instrumentation. We have process analyzers, for example, as graduates that can work from the graduates as graduates of this advanced diploma. And we have the other part, another one, we have signal processing technician, for example, as another potential job outcomes that we have from this advanced diploma. Program value and distinctness, again, is designed based on the industry input. We have storage data communication focus specifically on this one, integrated electrical and instrumentation. Practical, I don't want to reiterate that. We are very much focused on practical and industry, and it also provides pathways towards higher education if you were interested in advanced studies. Again, I picked two modules. One of them is SCADA, data acquisition, and OPC. As everyone is aware, SCADA systems are very important part of mining industry, which provide the supervision and data acquisition of different parts of the plants, different parts of the mining industry, and that they provide through the SCADA system. We can have supervisory control, we can optimize the processes, etc. And that's how this specific module focuses on applications of SCADA system for mining industry. For example, we have application of OPC to a SCADA system, which is very much related to mining industry. The second module that I would like to highlight and is motor control. And nowadays, all the electrical machines and all the movements, cranes, etc., are moving towards electrical because of the zero carbon emission, and many other reasons. And that's where the understanding of motors and electrical motors and controlling them, controlling their speed, etc., becomes very important. And during this module, students would learn about those principles. For example, they learn about the principles of AC DC motors or principles of variable speed drives. That is an important part of mining industry and different equipment that are being used there. Similarly, we have different software tools, such as here I can mention or highlight SciTech, CodeSys, which is used for for PLC systems. We have Easy Power. Again, it's mainly for power flow, safety, earthing system, etc. And some other software tools that are mentioned here. And that's all from me. Thank you very much, and thanks everyone for joining this session.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hassan. That was amazing. I'm going to take control, go onto here. So what we covered today, the courses, I will provide a link at the end. I believe it was mainly surrounding the Advanced Diploma of Electrical and Instrumentation E&I Engineering in Oil and Gas, and then the Advanced Diploma of Electrical Instrumentation E&I Engineering and Mining, which is pretty amazing. So these are the upcoming courses. They are starting very shortly, some of them later on. And these can all be found on the EIT website. We do have a photo challenge coming up, which you can, I believe, achieve about, so first place is in this is all US, so it's 1,000, 750, 500, and 100, and I will provide that link at the end as well. I will bring on both presenters for the Q&A section, though we don't have too many questions as of yet. Feel free to pop some more questions in. And I will remove myself. Oh, wrong thing. Apologies. So, can you guys see the Q&A section at the top? I'm happy to read out the questions as well if that makes it easier. Hello?
I'm trying to see whether there are any questions. I mean, I can see the chat box.
No,
That there
I
are
can.
some questions.
I'm happy to read them out. I believe there's how is the program scheduled structure over the 18-month duration? Is there a specific order for selecting the modules so they come stock standard? Are there any breaks between the modules? I believe there's a break over Christmas. Is that correct, Paul?
I think this is for Paul. Is the best.
Yes, I can help all those questions. So I can't see where because there was quite a few questions all in that one, and I want to answer them all. I can answer every single one of them, but I can't see. What was the first question, Jasmine?
I'll pop them into the chat to make it nice and easy.
Yeah, that'd be easy. Thank you, Jazz.
Oh, and put myself on screen.
Okay, so how is the program schedule structured over the 18-month duration? So, yep, so the structures of the programs you should be able to see on the website, and we'll deliver it in exactly that order, right? Also on the website, you'll see that the number of weeks that are associated with the individual with the subject, the subject that you're studying, the module. Unfortunately, students are not able to select individual modules, right? So they'll go from the very first one right through to the very end one. Now, the last question is a really good one, right? Are there any breaks between modules, right? Essentially, we go from one to the next, right? We go from, we just continually go, with the only exception, as I think Jasmine mentioned before, being the festive season. So over the festive season, we know you're spending time with families, attending webinars and completing assessments is not really, we want this, it gives the students a bit of a break too. So that's the only real break. I mentioned earlier in my session, we don't do a traditional semester system. Essentially, the course goes from start to finish, with the only real gap being over the festive season. Generally between around the 15th of December to the second week of January. Now that will depend on the length of the current module. Reason being, we don't want to split the module. We don't want you to we don't want to give you half of a module in December, then half of a module in January, because you'll have forgotten things. So we'll finish off that module. But generally speaking, say the middle of December to the start of the second week of January. Any more questions there, Jasmine? Hope that
There's
answered the question.
certainly, I believe so. There is the program based solely on IDC publications, or does it
No.
include other sources as well?
Yeah. So, I am, and for those that maybe are unaware, IDC Technologies is a sister company to EIT, the same company. Now we do use IDC manuals as a resource in the e-library. So students will have access to the IDC manuals in the library, but we have a huge gamut of other materials also that we provide. Earlier in the slides, gave some examples of some of the so their subscriptions essentially to a whole range of stuff. You'll find that the library has a massive range of materials that go well beyond the course. So, for example, if you're I don't know, you're wanting PLCs, you're wanting to learn more about PLCs, then you can go into the e-library and really delve into PLCs to to your heart's content in terms of detail. So we do use the IDC manuals. The courses themselves, though, are not connected to IDC. They're not they're created by EIT, and they're very different. So the loan eligibility, is that the next question there? So the yep. So there's eligibility. Essentially, in short, you need to be an Australian. You need to be an Australian citizen. Some New Zealanders living in Australia are eligible. There's a whole lot of criteria, and rather than explain it now, because I don't have the actual specifics in front of me, because it is a government loan that you enter into, and there is on the course, as Jasmine's put in the chat boxes, there's an eligibility section there that you want to, if you're living in Australia. And there are education requirements and a few other bits and pieces in order to be able to gain the loan, English requirements and things like that to be able to gain the loan. All of those, as I mentioned before, these are not criteria that as created by EIT. This is the Australian government that has set these parameters in place that we just have to adhere to.
Very well said. I believe there's another question about, do you have coding sessions too?
They're not coding courses. Hussein can provide more detail on those. We do. So there is coding in the advanced diplomas, but the none of the advanced diplomas are there, so you'd be a qualified coder. They would be you'd be looking at different kinds of courses for that. But we have coding, for example, in the advanced diploma of industrial automation engineering and other courses. Hussein, I'm not sure if you wanted to add to that.
No, exactly. That's correct. Thank you very much for that. Yeah. I mean, of course, within the assessment and practical assessment that the students do, they may need to do coding, but they are not going to be recognized as coders. So this is part of the skills that they will learn through different modules, such as PLC programming, etc. But they are not going to be officially recognized as coder. Yeah. Thank you.
They're not designed with that intent.
No, yeah, exactly.
I believe there's one more question from Owen. Are students required to purchase any books or external resources?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Owen. So essentially, the course fee covers the materials. So no, you're not required to purchase any books or resources at all. Everything's covered. So essentially, you could look at the course fee as being all encompassing, right? That is the fee that you'll pay for the course, right? So we're not requiring students. The only outside of that, you'd need a reasonably modern computer and strong internet. It doesn't have to be the most high spec gaming computer, right? It just has to be what we say reasonably modern. On our website as well, we do have some specs on there for you if you a little bit unsure as to if your computer's a bit old, then you could look at those specs when you're looking at purchasing a new computer or seeing whether those specs meet your current computer. If it's a 10-year-old computer, it'll slow you down. You do need also access to Microsoft Office, so you'll need Word and Excel and things like that. But in terms of the course itself, the readings and all of that, software, that's all covered as part of the course fees.
Very, very well said. I think we have one up. Are there sponsored scholarships? I believe we have partial scholarships, but I'm not too sure.
Yeah, we do. We have scholarships. There's a range of scholarships, and there is a scholarships page on the website that students can apply for a scholarship. I'll just see if I can click that up now and put it in the chat box for you.
Oh, I've got it.
You've got it, have you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's much faster than me, Jasmine, aren't you? Hey, impressive.
I pulled it up.
All of them are partial, though. There's not 100% scholarships there. And they are subject to conditions, as you would imagine. Thanks, Nikita. Thank you for taking the time today.
Okay, I think that concludes this wonderful webinar. Thank you, everyone, again. Please do reach out. I've popped my email address in the chat. And thank you so much, Mr. Paul Salenza, and thank you so much, Dr. Hassan. I really appreciate the time you've taken. I think we should all jump off now because it's 3 minutes past.
Thank you, everyone.
And thank
Thanks
you.
for coming today.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, bye-bye.